Brock Lesnar once again came face to face with Roman Reigns on SmackDown, but this time, everything was different. For the first time in years, Roman Reigns walked into the arena without the championship on his shoulder, without the intimidating presence of the bloodline behind him, and without the power he once ruled SmackDown with. The Tribal Chief era was over, and the Roman Reigns who stepped onto that stage looked like a man with something to prove. The show opened with silence, the crowd unsure of what version of Roman they would get. And when his music finally hit, the arena didn't erupt with boos or cheers, it erupted with pure shock. Roman Reigns walked out alone. No solo Sikoa, no Jimmy, no Jay, no Paul Heyman, just Roman, dressed in all black, a serious, almost venomous expression on his face. He didn't raise his finger. He didn't acknowledge anything. He just walked straight to the ring with the calmness of a man who has lost everything and is ready to take it back. Roman grabbed the mic and paused for a moment as the fans chanted, "We want the Tribal Chief." But Roman shook his head slowly. "I am not your Tribal Chief anymore," he said. "And that's exactly why I'm dangerous again." The crowd popped instantly. Roman continued, explaining that for years he carried the championship, carried the bloodline, carried WWE, and in the process, he forgot who he truly was, a warrior, not a ruler. A fighter, not a politician. A man who destroys, not a man who delegates. He said he's done relying on people who turned their backs on him. Done with loyalty that never came back. Done with solo Sikoa rewriting the rules of the family and walking around with the arrogance of a man who believes he replaced the greatest champion of this generation. Roman looked into the camera and said, "I don't need the bloodline. I don't need backup, and I don't need a title to be the biggest threat in WWE." And just when the whole arena was hanging on to every word, the building shook. Brock Lesnar's theme hit. The Beast incarnate walked out with that terrifying intensity, no cowboy hat, no smile, no jokes. This wasn't the laughing Brock. This wasn't the farm boy Brock. This was the monster, unleashed again. The crowd exploded as Lesnar marched straight down the ramp, not stopping for even a second. Roman didn't move. He didn't show fear. He didn't even blink. But you could feel the tension rising like a storm ready to tear the arena in half. Brock stepped into the ring and walked right up to Roman Reigns. Two men with history carved in blood, sweat, and destruction. But this time, the circumstances were completely changed. This was Roman Reigns without a championship. This was Roman Reigns without an empire. This was Roman Reigns without protection. Brock Lesnar looked him dead in the eyes and laughed, but not in a mocking way. It was a laugh that said, "Finally, I get you one-on-one. No bloodline, no interference, no excuses." Roman smirked. "You think I'm weaker because I'm alone?" he said. "I'm more dangerous now than I've ever been." Brock tilted his head, sizing Roman up like prey. The crowd chanted, "This is awesome." And they hadn't even touched yet. And then, the first punch landed. Brock struck first, hammering Roman with a brutal right hand that echoed through the arena. Roman fired back instantly, smashing Brock with forearm after forearm, unleashing the kind of aggression we haven't seen since before he became champion. The two beasts collided in the center of the ring, fists flying like a heavyweight fight, not a wrestling match. Brock lifted Roman onto his shoulders, ready for an F5, but Roman slipped out and smashed Brock with a Superman punch that dropped the beast to one knee. The crowd lost their minds as Roman charged for a spear, but Brock countered, scooping him up and throwing him across the ring with a terrifying German suplex. Roman landed hard, rolling to the corner, and Brock stormed forward like a bull ready to destroy anything in his path. But Roman grabbed the ropes and kicked Brock straight in the jaw, buying himself just enough time to launch a second Superman punch that sent Brock crashing into the ropes. Both men were down, breathing heavily, staring at each other with that same mix of hatred and respect. Then the entire arena shook again. But this time, it wasn't Brock. It wasn't Roman. It was Solo Sikoa. Solo appeared at the top of the ramp, arms crossed, watching the chaos in the ring with a cold, deadly stare. The crowd erupted with boos. Solo didn't walk to the ring. He just stood there, watching his former tribal chief fight for survival. Roman yelled from inside the ring, "I don't need you. Stay out of my business." Solo smirked. He wasn't there to help. He was there to observe, to test Roman, to enjoy watching the man he overthrew struggle. Brock turned around, grabbed Roman again, and lifted him for another F5, but Roman countered midair, twisting and driving Brock face first into the canvas. The ring practically shook. Both men rolled to opposite corners, exhausted but refusing to quit. This wasn't about titles anymore. This wasn't about family. This was two alphas fighting for pride, dominance, and identity. Roman slowly stood up, stared directly at Solo, and screamed, "Watch closely, because this is what the real head of the table looks like." Then he charged Brock again, but Brock was ready. Brock caught him with a knee to the ribs, scooped him up, and delivered a devastating F5 that sent Roman bouncing across the ring. But Brock didn't pin him. He stepped back and waited. He wanted Roman to get up and fight again. Roman staggered back to his feet, eyes burning with rage, refusing to fall. He slapped Brock across the face, a hard, disrespectful slap. The crowd gasped. Brock grinned and went for the kill, but suddenly Roman tackled him, raining down punches, bringing out the ruthless, savage side he hasn't shown since the early days of the Shield. Security tried to rush in, but Brock swung them away like toys. Roman punched through another set of guards. The ring became a battlefield of bodies and chaos. Finally, WWE officials flooded in, trying to separate the two monsters. Brock roared with fury as 10 men held him back. Roman broke free twice, diving at Brock with wild rage, proving he's far from broken, he's reborn. Solo Sikoa slowly clapped from the stage. A mocking, disrespectful slow clap. He wasn't impressed. He was entertained. Roman pointed at Solo, breathing heavily, screaming, "You're next." But Brock Lesnar wasn't finished. He broke free again, bulldozed through the officials, and knocked Roman down with one last blindside tackle before security completely swarmed the ring. Roman and Brock kept screaming at each other as they were dragged apart, their rivalry reignited in the most dangerous way possible. SmackDown ended with one message. Roman Reigns has no bloodline, no championship, no protection, but he has his fire back. And now, with Brock Lesnar on one side and Solo Sikoa watching like a shark waiting for blood, Roman is entering the most brutal chapter of his career. War is coming.